This is the fourth day after my cochlear implant activation, and I am having a hearing conundrum. So what does that mean? Well, I would like to share with you different kinds of sound inputs that I'm receiving so you can understand my experience and maybe even relate it to some of your own experiences with hearing. So I'm going to explain to you four kinds of sound inputs that I'm receiving. The first one is natural sound. Now, you are probably hearing natural sound if you have good hearing. We all agree on a sound vocabulary of environmental sounds and speech sounds. For example, if I say to you, a baby crying, you know what that sounds like. Or if I say to you, a dog barking. Or I talk to you in English, hey, how are you doing? Or in Spanish, hombre, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Or even in French, ça va? You know these sounds and they mean something to you. So that's natural sound, and in my case, I did hear some natural sound when I take out my hearing aid on my left side. I have about a 90 decibel loss. That means I can hear things above 90 decibels. So I wouldn't be able to hear speech or water running or normal music, but I could, if I went into a club and the music was at 120 decibels, I could feel that like you would, boom, 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 boom. But I could hear a little bit of that. I could hear an ambulance, I could hear a lawnmower. So some really loud sounds, I could still hear natural sound with my residual hearing. The second kind of sound that I'm hearing, and which I've been hearing and getting by with for the last 35 years, is my hearing aid, through my hearing aid. So that is digitally modified sound, like you might think of in a theater where you see the table, the sound table, and they're adjusting the sound, or recorded voice that's also been adjusted and modified. And that's because a hearing aid is actually a full computer. So what your brain hopefully does naturally is, like, you're in a room with all this sound and your brain helps you pick out the sound you want to focus on. Hopefully it's conversation and you want to listen to the person that you're talking to. And so maybe the fan across the room, after all, you don't even hear it. You just hear the person you're talking to. But in my case, I can't do that. So my hearing aid would be programmed so that I would take out some of the noise, some of the frequencies that are not in the normal speech banana, as we call it, which are the frequencies of the normal voice, so that I could discriminate voice and speech and not just hear massive amounts of noise. In a noisy situation, I do hear massive amounts of noise, but I can't understand anything. So that's digitally modified sound from a hearing aid. One really cool thing that I want to add to the digitally modified sound, the sound that I get through my hearing aid, which takes natural sound and makes everything louder, which is really cool and really new in hearing technology, is that I can use Bluetooth. So, for example, from my phone, when I listen to Spotify, Google Maps, a GPS, telephone, I can hook up my hearing aid, with my phone so that the sound comes directly from the phone to my hearing aid. The quality of the sound is unbelievable. I hear it like natural sound, but nobody in the environment can hear it except me. So like maybe my phone is ringing and I hear it, but no one else hears it. And in fact, I can put my phone in my purse or way across the room or even on another floor in my house and I can still hear it. So that's Bluetooth. That's a really cool natural sound that's been augmented and sent somehow mysteriously through the cloud to my phone. So hey, another sound which some of you may also be hearing, it's produced by tinnitus. In Spanish, that's called acúfenos. So this is a sound that when the cilia cells in the cochlea have died, your brain will produce sounds that are internal. They're in your head. They're very annoying. Some people call it a high-pitched sound like, and mine happens to be more like an airplane taking off. When I get excited or nervous, it gets really louder. And the main thing you should know about this sound, it not only is that it's annoying, and you can train your brain not to hear it by using white noise or having a radio on very low. Some people do that when they sleep. Is that sometimes when the sound gets so loud inside my head, it overpowers the sound that I'm getting from my environment. It's so loud that I can't understand what people are saying to me because I'm hearing. So that's the third noise I want you to know about. Okay, and now the fourth noise, and the real cause of my conundrum, because pretty much I was doing pretty well with the first three kinds of input for the last 35 years. But I really wanted to improve that situation, as I explained to you in an earlier video. And so I want to tell you about this new input that I have, this new sound input from the Cochlear implant, which I'm not wearing right now because I wouldn't be able to make this video if I did. And as I told you in a prior video, basically after 3 days of wearing it, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing either a sound like this. Can you hear that? Sounds like a radio being tuned. It sounds to me like electricity. And the other sounds I'm hearing are, remember my drum from a prior video? So basically I can follow the rhythm and I can't interpret what I'm hearing yet. But it's getting better and I'm working on it. Okay, so here's my conundrum. During my day, when do I really need to hear? Do I wear the hearing aid? Do I wear the hearing aid plus the cochlear implant? And then when I'm training, I just wear the cochlear implant. But because I still have some residual hearing, I actually have to put my hearing aid in as like if it were an earplug, but turn it off. Because the cochlear implant is also very loud and overpowers the good sound that I'm getting from my hearing aid. So I can't really hear yet and understand what's going on. So I have all these inputs and just wanted you to know where I am today on Friday. Thanks for understanding.